national human heritage. Because I know this is one of the words which has been repeated in the last, I don't know, 20, 30, 50 years, and people are repeating it. Yes, we are humans, and we are sharing our culture with people with great respect to everybody who loves our culture. But if I say that this pyramid was built by humanity of the world, then I'm including enemies of Egypt and ancient Egyptian civilization. Yes, there are enemies of ancient Egyptian civilizations, whether they were Egyptians or non-Egyptians. A guy who is trying to sell or trying to mock somebody even, he is not considered to be one of the grandsons of this culture. Of course, we all kind of studied, saw, viewed, watched, criticized what happened at the pyramids in the last few days.
Yes.
This is not the first case. This case has been happening, and I remember when I was young, there was a guy who brought a Swiss group in one row, and he was cutting for $5 a piece. Now, we didn't see this guy cutting. Probably the youth who made that kind of adventure, I thank them. I know some people will say, oh, they are directing people towards, if you didn't know that there were pyramid blocks kind of sold and stuff. Well, no, I would like to thank them, because they threw a stone into a stagnant canal, on a stagnant lake. Yeah, maybe they exaggerated a little bit when they said that the guy kind of destroyed or cut or ruined the block. Probably he went around, he brought a block from the debris, but the debris is a pyramid. See, this is important. Whatever is around the pyramid and it's a debris on the floor, this is pyramid. Those huge blocks that you saw and you still see, they are blocks of the pyramids, or the outer casing of the pyramids in some cases, like in the third pyramid where the case took place. These pink granite blocks, huge pink granite blocks that you saw the guys walking around, or if you like the limestone ones, they are the debris which fell off the pyramid all through its history. So yes, it is pyramid. Now, is there a lack of, what is the problem? Is it the security? Is it the people who are responsible for the security of the place? Definitely. Is it the Minister of Antiquities? Definitely another time. Yes, there are responsible people for this area. This is the most important area in the world dealing with history.
Sir, do you find exaggeration from the foreign media? Are they aiming, is there a plot to tarnish Egypt's image?
Okay, so I'm one of the best people that you can talk about conspiracy theory to me, because I'm a believer that it's not a conspiracy theory. I believe it's a conspiracy fact, not a theory. Theory was like in the old days. Now I'm saying it's a conspiracy fact. So yes, I do believe in the conspiracy fact. I do believe that there are people who are trying to drag the beautiful cultural carpet from underneath our feet. Oh yes, of course. You must be like not with it, not to see that. But on the other hand, I tend not to always encourage the attacking of my enemies. Of course, I'm going to attack my enemies warlike and cultural-wise, of course. But to always blame my enemy that he or she is doing this to my culture, well, where are you? So now, every now and then, a kind of an alarm takes place. A kind of a wake-up call takes place. This is one of the wake-up calls. Now, I brought you some pictures to see more wake-up calls. So, and of course, this has been going for a while. You need to take action. That is what I'm trying to say. You need to take action.
So,
first picture I brought you is the falcon. Now, we start with this because the falcon in ancient Egypt is the most liked character in ancient Egypt. Horus or Her in hieroglyphs, Her in hieroglyphs, Hor in Coptic Christian, Horus in Greek, right? So, first of all, Ministry of Education. You need to educate our kids and our children, our beautiful people, the hieroglyphic naming of our ancient Egyptians. Ramesses, thank you. Ramesu, hieroglyphs. So, I need, if I was not the person to talk hieroglyphs, if I was not the person who's going to pronounce the names of my grandpas and grandmas in a correct manner, who's going to do it? What? Champollion, with all respect to his work, could not kind of, if you like, recite hieroglyphs the way you can.
So do you think we have teachers who can teach the students this language?
I think, of course. The other day, some years ago, Minister of Education, Bassam, we have 7 years. I said, the lecture will be how to write hieroglyphs. Oh, Mr. Bassam, they are 7 years of age. I said, how to write hieroglyphs? Watch. We got papers. The best thing to tell a kid, draw, right? Remember these days? Yeah, get some colors, some graffiti, I don't know what, and draw a tree. Well, come and draw a falcon. Come and draw an owl, letter M. Draw a face, hair, face. And in 2 days, some of which were trying to write their names in hieroglyphs, 7 years and 8 years of age. Yes, yes, it needs a move. Here, now, take a very close look at this. Now, Horus, the falcon that I showed you, is not in Egypt. The falcon that I showed you is on sale on the internet by a guy called Gabriel van der Voort. His address and his mobile number and the time that you should call him in after 4 o'clock is in the hands of our authorities. I delivered it by my own hand to the highest authority in this country. Last August. Gabriel van der Voort is in California, Glendale. And I've been to Glendale. I lecture there. And I said to our ambassador, and I'm saying to our respectable ambassador, and our ambassador in the great deal of the UNESCO, which I'm now becoming a true non-believer in, this UNESCO thing.
Yes.
Where is the UNESCO? Oh, the Egyptian monuments. Oh, thank you very much. But where is the move? Why did we sign this agreement in the 1970s? So this statue is on sale. Now, here is the other point. It is
you
not
think
only
it's the original one? It's original?
Oh, yes, with the certificate of authenticity.
Yes.
He gives you a certificate of authenticity.
Okay. So it was
100%.
smuggled from the country?
Oh, yes, ma'am. And if you take a look at this website of this guy who's selling this, you will find all the marks and all the numbers right under it, and it's sold in red. So now it's sold. You cannot buy it, unfortunately. You cannot buy that mummy kind of linen because it's sold for $300 or $280. So where are you? Why cannot you? Well, you have to move your scepter a little bit. You know the scepter that royalty would put it in hand. You have the scepter in your hand as Egypt. So you have to show it. This is the most amazing man of ancient Egypt. This is the statue of the most important guy, I'm telling you this, in the history of over 2,000 years of ancient Egypt, if you like. Here is Hem-Iuno. His statue is in the Museum of Hildesheim in Germany. Not in Berlin, not right beside Nefertiti. Nefertiti is in Berlin. Hem-Iuno, this gentleman, this ancient Egyptian, 4.5, almost 1,000 years ago, this statue. It's carved yesterday with hieroglyphs on the base. Look at him. This face, ladies and gentlemen, we should put this face in the middle of Tahrir Square. Why? Because he is the genius ancient Egyptian who designed and he was the architect of the Great Pyramid of Kufa. So this is the man who made the whole world give us the biggest salute and still.
And now his statue in Germany.
The only one in the world. We don't have
it smuggled also?
Oh yes. Well, at the beginning when you were not in power.
It's a big statue. How was it smuggled?
I mean, it's 155.
Yes.
This guy was seated 1 meter 55 centimeter high. First quarter of the 20th century and out through the Germans. Same thing with Nefertiti's head. Same. Of course. People will tell you, well, we were not in power in those days. We were ruled by I don't know who. Fine. Now, dear Germany, prove that you are a country of culture. We want Hem-Iuno. They say, Hem-Iuno on one hand, Nefertiti on the other hand. If you ask me, I'll take Hem-Iuno. You're going to tell me about Nefertiti. She's beautiful. I said, we have more than one Nefertiti in the Egyptian Museum here. But we have only one Hem-Iuno in the world, which is in Hildesheim. Look at this. This is our Ramesses II obelisk in Paris.
Yes.
Place de la Concorde in Paris, La Belle Paris. The French. Oh, the French mania. Well, prove that you are a country of culture and freedom and democracy. And go and save the whales and the dolphins and the crocodiles. And also save our monuments. Look at the obelisk. It is fractured. And the report, the French report of this fracture is saying clearly that the French are responsible for it. Let's take a look at the other ones. And when we sent one of our, this one, look at this beautiful Islamic artifact. Where is this? This is in the Islamic Art Museum in Al-Quds Al-Sharif a museum which is built by the Zionists. So this piece of art is in the hands of the Zionists now, as we speak. I saw this. I visited this museum in 2013 when I went to Al-Quds. And I'm not going to tell you about the Museum of Israel. That's another thing. Look, Alain Robert, an adventurer called the Spider-Man. He likes to climb skyscrapers. He likes to climb Eiffel Towers. He would like to climb our obelisk in Place de la Concorde in Paris. So what does he do? He comes, he jumps, he puts his feet inside our hieroglyphs. How humiliating is this? Where are the authorities in France? Where is the UNESCO? What is our Minister of Antiquities? That happened in the 90s, 1990s. So I'm not calling upon one person. I'm not calling about the minister. No, I'm not going to personalize this. I'm talking about a scheme. I'm talking about a phenomenon. Now, this guy went all the way up, and he stood right over the benben. Benben in hieroglyphic is the pyramidion at the top. And he puts his hand up there, showing victory. Showing victory over who? I don't understand. Now, so you fracture the obelisk by your own confession in the report.
So you think that they are not respected, these monuments?
That's what I'm
smuggled
saying.
and not respected at the same time.
And I think they are not respecting because two things. Because they are not respecting, and two, because they are not finding anything from our side. What is our ambassador in this case at that time?
Yes.
I'm saying. Now, we request an apology, an official apology from France. And an official apology from England, from what they did and what they smuggled from. And now, our monuments sold via net, i.e., while you are seated on this, you can, with your own mobile, order an ancient Egyptian artifact, sir, as we speak now, if you want. Put your credit card number, and it's hold your horses, and it is home delivery. Yes, our monuments sold home delivery. Well, why don't you add a couple of milkshakes and French fries by the side? You need to be strong. You are Egypt. You need to ask, to recommend, to go on to the UN, and to make it political. Oh yes, to make it political. You know who retrieved their obelisk? Ethiopia. Ethiopia. When Mussolini took the obelisk of Axum 1700 years ago, that is the age, with over 180 tons obelisk in Ethiopia, Ethiopian obelisk of Axum, A-X-U-M, a famous history, a famous culture, respected. They could put it in Italy for years. Ethiopians were asking for years.
So did they go to international arbitration?
Oh, they made it big. Oh, they made it big. And in the days of Haile Selassie and all those guys. And at the end of the day, they took it back, and now it's in Ethiopia. Ethiopia brought back its obelisk. Look at him. Now, look at also the fractures. Very obvious. And if you look carefully...
This is the one in Paris, right?
This is the one in Paris. This report was saying that the French were saying during the transportation and during this and during that. Now, don't forget that this is not far away from the Seine River. Now, there is kind of wind that comes up. So this wind, with this direction, can also help in the erosion of some parts of it. It's in the middle of a square, so we're talking about also pollution. What I'm trying to say this, what I'm trying to convey here is we are always blaming ourselves and whipping our backs that we do not take good care of our monuments. Yes, that's a fact, and you cannot be talking to a better person to prove that than myself, right? But at the same time, you're going to say the other also is not respecting my monuments. What is this? And don't come up and tell me, oh, they take very good care of our monuments, Bassam. Well, take a look at this. Now, this is a coin, ancient coin, in the British Museum. This is one that I would need it back to Egypt. I would need it to be back to Egypt, this coin. Why? Because it is showing Cleopatra the Seventh.
The real features, right?
See? How beautiful is that? So many people will say, this is Cleopatra? We thought that she was Elizabeth Taylor.
Yes.
See, this question, sir, can bring you 25 million tourists with small coin that big. put it in a museum in the middle of the square, and try to publicize this touristically and say, come and see the real Cleopatra. And lectures and T-shirts. Here, you are looking. Things that when you look at in the respect of places, look at this. On your left-hand side, we have the cat deity, the famous ancient Egyptian cat deity. Right behind her, Jahut, the ibis of wisdom. How preserved is this? As if they were made yesterday, right? This, ladies and gentlemen, is a photo I took with my own hand, and I'm not a photographer. My 8-megapixel small camera that my brother gave me, because I'm still living in BC, you know.
Yeah.
So anything with technology, forget it with me, I'm a failure on that. So click, 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 click. I took those pictures back, I put it right in front on TV, I put it in front of them, our Minister of Antiquities of today. This is in the Museum of Israel, in Al-Quds al-Sharif. 2013, 2014, I'm launching a campaign showing the Egyptians our monuments in the Museum of Israel in Al-Quds al-Sharif. Not one phone call from the minister to say, Bassam, where did you get this from? Tell us. Tell us something about what you saw there for our monuments. And there, they will tell you, our American friends. They were the people who gave it to us. And of course, that's the sign. That's the stamp. That's no, don't talk. No, we're going to talk. And we're going to ask. And this year is a perfect year. 2015 is a perfect year for us to ask. Because now, as an Egyptian, you are in authority in the UNESCO. You are now taking care of the authority inside the UNESCO. So what I'm asking for here is two things. One, you have to show your scepter of power a little bit, Egypt. And more importantly, our president, when he goes to the UN, I need one sentence from him. One sentence. In the middle of all the talk about the politics and about peace and about everything, one sentence. We are Egypt, and we, 100 million Egyptians, need our culture back. This is the only sentence I want the president to say in front of the world.
I think we don't need any evidence to prove that these stuff were looted from Egypt.
Well, they will tell you, oh, it came out legally. I never understood this word. I never understood. I'm reading history for this year, 34 years. 34 years I'm reading history. I never understood this word, which the authorities in Egypt will come up with the Minister of Antiquities. Oh, it came out, and I cannot bring it back. Why? Well, it came out in a legal way. What legal way? There is nothing legal about hieroglyphs in Paris or hieroglyphs in... Muhammad Ali was the guy who gave that obelisk. Now, in January 2015, one of our volunteers, 20-something years of age, and she's not a historian, but she is in love with the droplets of water or droplets of sand or any of Egypt. She went, took photos, and we, for our greatest surprise, not only fractures in the obelisk, but a huge cut, a huge cut. And the important thing on that one is, because I keep on coming back to the obelisk, is that they, in their report, the French, confessed.
Okay.
So now I have the report, I have the confession, I have the UN in my hand, and I have the UNESCO in my hand. So act and move.
Okay, Mr. Bassam Shammaa, author in Egyptology and historian. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for your insight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Dear viewers, a short break, and we'll be back to resume the remaining segments of the Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International.
مصر بتسلم عليكو مصر بتناديكو بتناديكو مصر ايدنا بايديكو نعمل معجزات مصر فاتحة لكم